Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Against the Odds. I'm your host, Chewy Rivas. This is a show where we dive deep into people's life stories of how people turn pain into power and setbacks into straight domination. Today, we're sitting down with Matt Johnson. Now, if you are from Fort Dodge, you may have seen this guy likely pop up on one of your news feeds or social media regarding his battle with the city of Fort Dodge over the pavilion property. Before we could dive into this, we need to know, how did we get here? So, Matt, obviously, you haven't always been a big planning to start a big initiative to save Fort Dodge. So let's take it back to where it started at the beginning and how the heck did we get here? So who is Matt Johnson and how did you get here?
Well, that's obviously that's a big question, but I can start from the beginning. So I'm an Iowa boy. I was born at University of Iowa Hospital in Iowa City back in the 60s. And it's kind of funny. So when I was a baby, my mom and dad were going to college at University of Iowa, and they had a experimental program. They were testing babies with soybean formula, like to see how that, we have
versus regular formula.
So
soybean
formula, and that wasn't a thing yet. It was an experiment. And my mom was like, "Well, hell, I can sign up and I get free formula." They were college kids, didn't have a lot of money, so yeah, I'll sign my baby up for an experiment. And so it's funny, they call me like every 10 years and ask medical questions and stuff like that, and lifestyle questions, and just, it's an ongoing study. There's like 240 or 50 babies in it, and I was just happened to be one of them. But it's gotten to be a joke over the years. My family will be like, he's doing crazy shit again. It's got to be the soybean formula. So,
oh my God, do they have soybean formula now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I guess I think so. Yeah.
Okay, you're the first guinea pig.
So I was a guinea pig to see if it worked. So that's why I got a third arm. So I do stupid shit.
No, you're cool, man.
So I grew up. Then I was in Muscatine for 2 or 3 years. My little brother was born there, but then we moved to Fort Dodge. I was like 6.
Okay, so
5 or 6. So I grew up here.
Okay, you grew up here, and then what age did you? I think you said you moved somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah, so I grew up here. Went through public schools. Went to Duncombe School, North Junior High, the senior high. I always hated school. I hated being in a building all day. Just didn't like the education system. So at 16, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. So I left. I got on a Greyhound bus and I ran away to California.
Okay.
And
California. Why California?
Well, I had relatives there as part of it, and just, I guess in my head it was like, California is awesome. I had a grandma that lived in San Diego, and we'd visited there a couple times. Beautiful place,
very
pretty. Beaches. Just opportunity. It was just, it wasn't. I was like, oh, screw Fort Dodge. I'm gonna go somewhere cool. So I went to California.
Okay.
I was there about 3 or 4 weeks. Parents talked me into coming home, so I came home. Lived here for about another year or so. Worked in this building, and then ended up moving to Hawaii when I was 17.
Okay, cool. Okay, that makes sense. Do you like Hawaii? What'd you do there?
Oh, I loved Hawaii. So I went there under the guise of, I'm going to go to college. Well, I went to class once in a while, not that much. I mostly went to the beach. And
surf college or what?
Yeah, surf college. And I didn't like surfing because I was always freaked out by sharks. I learned how to surf, but I never enjoyed it because I'd look down like, there's shit under here that can eat me. I just couldn't get over that.
Yeah,
so, but I love body exactly. So just body surfing, man. That was so you do that, within up closer to shore, you ride the waves, and it's a blast.
Yeah.
So I did that. A lot. And then I couldn't hold a job, so I got into real estate. And finally, I was like, all right, I got to get my shit together. So I went to community college.
In Hawaii or?
In Hawaii.
Okay.
Yep. Which is really cool as an open air school right up against the Ko'olau Mountains. Just beautiful. The birds are chirping and, year round, just beautiful. So I went to college, started kind of getting my shit together, and I was like, well, I can't hold a job. And to get into like a career, you need school. So I finally landed on real estate because I was like, well, in Hawaii, it was a 2-week class. You're a realtor.
Just 2 weeks in Hawaii to be a realtor.
That's true here, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, okay.
So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And it's like, I can talk to people. I thought I could probably do sales. So I got my real estate license when I was 20, something like that, 20 or 21.
Okay.
And
how old are you now?
58.
58. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pushing 40 years I've been in real estate. So.
Wow, good for you. I bet you learned a lot. You have a lot of knowledge, right?
I've been in all kinds of different, over that 40 years, a lot of different phases of it. So, But started just as a realtor, sitting open houses. I got my first listing. I was on a motorcycle. I didn't have a car. Had long hair.
Did you sell it?
I got the listing. Hell yeah, I got the listing. Yep.
Cool. Did you make a lot of money off it?
I did. Yeah, my first couple of checks, I was like, oh, this is so easy. Well, at that time, that was the late 80s. The Japanese were coming to Hawaii, buying any. They literally would just show up. They'd knock on doors. Can I buy your house?
Really?
Because Hawaii was so cheap compared to Japan.
Wow.
Plus, they'd fly over there and golf and stuff. So it was the first year or so was just easy. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Well, then the market kind of crashed and it got tougher, but I still did pretty well. Yeah. And then my company hired me to be their marketing director after that. So this goes way, but man, I haven't thought about this shit for a long time.
This is cool, man. I like to. People want to know who you are, man. And you're taking us down a time, timeline, and we're slowly getting to the good
to
part.
the current, yeah. So.
But I mean, I'm not saying this is not good, but this is nice to know who you are and what you've been through and what you've done, and how you got here, man. So just good journey so far. So then. You started being the best realtor in Hawaii, right? And then what happened after that?
Well, so then I'd start coming back here. I would come back every summer to like visit and hang out with my friends because I've got a group of friends from basically junior high that we still hang out to this day. I mean, as soon as I get out of here, we're going. We
go hang out
every month. We get together and play a game and listen to music and drink beer. And,
what games do you guys play?
It's Axis and Allies.
Oh, okay.
It's a World War II game, and we've been playing for 31 years. So.
Where do you guys play? Your house?
We used to play at my office all the time, but a buddy of mine now lives in Otho, so we play at his house. Nice. So I'm spending the night because I ain't driving after.
I understand.
Especially now, I'm not getting busted in the city of Fort Dodge right now.
Yeah, you're probably going to be what is it? Public enemy number one.
Public enemy
right
number
now.
one. But I was coming back every summer, and I just saw how I wanted to start buying investment properties. Well, shit, in Waikiki, we were selling. You would literally sell. This is back 30 years ago in the 90s. A parking place was like $35,000. I saw friends back here buying a pretty nice house for $35,000, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to really make it in Hawaii, as a real estate investor.
Yeah.
So I started buying rental houses back here, and about a year and a half later, I was like, I'm just going to come back full time. I did kind of miss my friends. Hawaii's freaking expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And I was working a lot. I'd drive by the beach like, well, shit, I don't have time to go to the beach. I got to work, and especially because I had goals and ambitions, and I wanted to get somewhere. So I came back here. Just cost of living is a lot better, easier going, less traffic, and my friends were here. So
cool. So then you moved back at what age?
20, 28, 29, 28, I think.
So you had a good little Hawaii run. Do you ever go back to Hawaii? Yeah,
we went every year, for years, because my family was still there, my parents and my brothers. So I moved in 85, and then my parents are younger. So my older brother moved there, then I moved there, and then my parents and my younger brother followed. We were farmers. My dad kind of went belly up farming and was just kind of doing handyman contractor work and stuff here. And they were like, screw it. Why don't we start over? So they were early 40s, sold everything, went to Hawaii.
Okay.
So
do they still live there?
Well, my dad's died and now my little brother's died. So,
oh, shoot. Sorry
and my mom, after my little brother, well, no, it was before she died, or he died. We moved her to Florida for a year, and now she's at Friendship Haven. So she's back here. And she's in her 80s. So.
Sure. So growing up, you didn't have much. What I'm hearing from you, you came from nothing, kind of. You didn't have.
I wouldn't say from nothing. I mean, I actually had a pretty good good childhood. I mean, it wasn't like super privileged, but like we belonged to the country club in the Elks. I mean, we traveled some.
You did all right.
Yeah, we did okay. But then during the early '80s, things kind of went belly up for him. But by then, I was already in Hawaii, so it didn't affect me too bad.
What made you were you kind of a bad child or something? Or was it the soybean milk or something?
It wasn't my fault. It was the soybeans. But yeah, I was kind of a black sheep a little bit.
Okay,
yeah.
you're a little daredevil.
I ain't gonna lie, I got in a lot of trouble.
It's okay. At least we're honest.
I tried to get a gun, and it took like 4 or 5 years to get the government to let me get a gun permit, if that tells you anything. So.
Okay, you're
but I got one.
Okay. Well, cool. Oh my God, you're wild, man. I love it. So now you're 28 and you move back to Fort Dodge, Iowa, right? What happens then?
So actually, the night that I came back, a buddy of mine had a party in Bobtown every year, and I actually met my wife that night.
Oh,
actually don't remember it. But anyway, we started kind of dating very shortly after that. So it was kind of weird, and that's 30 plus years ago, and 3 kids later, and 6 grandkids, and here we are. So.
Wow, you have 3 kids now, and
3 daughters.
You're a big family man, you think?
Very much so. Yep.
Yeah,
that's my focus.
Awesome. So how long have you? So now how long have you been doing real estate here in Fort Dodge? Is it the rest? You just kept doing it now?
Just kept doing it. So when I moved back, I started as just a realtor at Caldwell Banker.
Okay.
That was way back. Then did a little bit of property management, mostly, and then I got partnered with a guy, Cy Vojak, may he rest in peace, awesome guy, was a mentor, pulled me in to help him with commercial real estate. So I was doing residential and commercial. I was still buying rentals. And then actually Jim Kesterson got a hold of me. I was out with my daughter. We were handing out just listed flyers. I was out marketing myself. And one of them happened to be his house. And his wife was like, "Oh my God, this kid's out, handing out flyers. Doesn't he know that you're a big broker in town or something?" And Jim was like, "Hey, I like that a young guy's out hustling." So he called me and said, "Have you ever thought about being an appraiser?"
Okay.
I was like, "No, it seems kind of boring." But then he kind of showed me, what that business looked like. And, he was doing super, super well. And so he recruited me into joining him as an appraiser.
Awesome. You guys still friends? You guys still talk?
Still friends, still talk. Yeah.
Jimmy's a great dude.
Great dude,
His wife, Kathy, I think that's her name.
Yeah, and she's great too. I had some really good years there.
What'd you guys stop working there?
I was with Jim for about 5 years or so. And then I just kind of grown to the point I was like, I can kind of do this on my own. So I actually left and opened up my own shop. And then I brought in a couple other appraisers and
he was all right with it. He was like, "I understand."
Yeah, at first he was a little mad at first. But it didn't take long. I mean, probably about a year. It was a little awkward / tense, but been good.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've stayed friends ever since. And, we've referred business back and forth. I mean, I've bought properties from him and stuff. It's all good.
He's good. He's awesome. I love that guy. So, Jimmy, if you're listening, you're the man, dude.
Yeah. There's there's nobody else in Fort Dodge that knows more about real estate than he does.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I promise you, I've sat down with him many times. He's so brilliant. Todd also works with him, and he brings me in rooms. I'm just like, sheesh, that guy is brilliant. He knows more than anybody I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely. And he'd be a great guy to get on here because he didn't go to college and do all that kind of stuff. Right. He kind of went through, real life shit.
Yeah. We're working on that as well. So
good.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time.
And I respect that a lot. I have nothing against people that went through the system and went through college and did all the things the right way, but it's hard to relate to them because I took such a different path.
Yeah. Your path is all right. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a soybean milk kind of path.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Matt, now, man, let's get into this. What is going on right now with the Fort Dodge complex, man? How did we get here? How are you? Let me just rephrase this, I guess. How is it that Fort Dodge City is going into your building or the building and demanding keys and all that and putting papers down when you're not even there? It's kind of interesting. So I'm just curious to see, how did this all transpire? How did this happen? And I'm sure a lot of people are curious as well. So I might ask you some questions here moving forward that the public probably wants to know and
absolutely
curious. So let's go ahead, man. I'll let you take the floor now.
Well, so it all kind of started. That was before I even got involved. Corridor Plaza did their thing. They redeveloped the mall. It's kind of funny. We actually made an offer on the mall before it transpired.
Who's we?
So me and just a group of investors in Fort Dodge.
So you have a group of investors right now, right?
Well, yeah, and it varies. Every deal is kind of different. Different people get in on different stuff. But
okay. And so,
Todd is not part of the Courtplex. Everybody thinks that.
Oh, you hear that, folks? Todd McCummon is not part of the...
Yeah, and I have not used his name specifically on my videos, but I've said very clearly, nobody on the council, nobody in government, nobody with any conflict. The people that are in with me on that, there's a couple older people that wrote a check for $10,000. It was like, I'm not giving up their names to the public so that Facebook can crucify them.
Yeah.
No freaking way. It's stupid.
They're older, aren't they?
Yes.
How old is one?
In their 80s.
80 years old?
Yeah.
Sheesh, it's not fair to them, but you don't want them.
And they have nothing to do with it. Never been in the buildings. Like they were just like, oh, I like what you're doing in Fort Dodge. Here's a little bit of money to help do the deal. So that has nothing to do with anything. So it's like, why would I give their names out to the public to have them get crucified?
Because the public wants those names. Is that what you're saying?
I get asked that a lot. Well, who's your partners? Well, nobody.
Nobody that's
nobody that has any relevance to the project.
Sure.
So if that makes sense. So
well, that's good to know.
Yeah, and Todd was definitely not one of them. So
okay, you heard it here, guys.
That's right.
Todd's not one, and it's an 80-year-old lady, guys. If you guys want to really bug out about that, so
yeah, so
good information there for you guys that are gonna want to be. What do you call those things?
Facebook warriors or trolls.
Interesting. So. Tell me why is the city trying to come after you or take this building? Is it true or not that you've missed a payment or haven't kept up with this contract that they've said?
Not at all. I actually, just before I came down here, I'm putting out a video that kind of shows some of that. And I brought some of that paperwork with me, but that is not true at all.
Okay. What are they saying, and what do you say, and how do you combat that?
Yeah, so it's a little bit complicated. So we bought that property on a real estate contract. Part of the contract was we make interest-only payments for 2 years. So it's every 6 months.
Okay. Let me grab this.
Yeah.
Actually, let me grab this contract here.
That's your bank statement. Yeah, so here's the schedule of payments that's due from the buyer.
So those are
the payments that we have to make. And then here's the bank statements.
the bank statements. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm gonna post these. So
According to this, man, you've paid a lot of money.
well, so it's funny. The one is what really kills me. So it was towards the end of May that they all of a sudden were like, "We're going to take this property back," and did a special meeting. So they rushed out the special council meeting instead of waiting for the regular meeting. They did a special meeting just to start the forfeiture, and then 3 days later they pulled 127,000 or 137,000. If you look at the bank statement, it's May 28th or 9th. There's a transfer to the city of Fort Dodge that they withdrew, as they were supposed to, for like 127,000. But yet, 3 days prior, they filed a forfeiture saying, "We haven't made any payments."
137,000.
137,000.
137,000 from the city.
And in December, it was 261,000. So they're saying, "Well, you didn't make any payment." Oh, yeah, we did.
Okay, that's interesting. So they're saying, why are they saying it? Does this not count, or what is this?
So here's the whole gist of their forfeiture case is based. The truth is, they want the property back so they can put the wreck there. I mean, that's kind of becoming more and more public. The thing that they're hanging their hat on is every month the contract required you have to turn in monthly financial statements for the LLC. Balance sheet and income and expense statement.
Why is that? Why do you have to do that?
Just so they can kind of monitor how things are going.
Okay.
It's just kind of like for transparency for the city, because they're the lender. It's like when you buy a property on contract, instead of getting a bank loan, you're just making payments to the seller.
Okay.
So the city's the seller, this LLC is the buyer.
Okay.
And so part of that deal is we have to turn in financial statements every month so they know how we're doing. Those statements were not turned in on time, and I've said all along, well, yeah, they weren't, because actually who they sold it to. Now, I bought in with them, so that's my bad, is I did buy in with the guys that originally developed it. But they were already doing that with the city anyway. Does that make sense? So we were kind of silent partners. They were doing their deal with the city. Well, they weren't turning in financial statements, and I found out why, because they were taking all the city's money and doing other shit with it.
Seriously. And who are those people?
Well, it's really David Lane out of Ankeny.
David Lane.
That's
David
becoming
Lane.
more and more public.
Okay. And why isn't he being prosecuted, or why isn't the city going after him, David Lane?
Dude, I wish I knew. And maybe they are behind the scenes, but we started talking about this 5-6 months ago. I was like, I went to the city and I was like, guys, he's taking the money. Quit giving him checks. They paid him over $1.8 million without verifying anything. They didn't look to see what he was buying. They didn't get receipts for anything. He was just turning in paperwork, and they were just writing him checks.
Wow. So,
And I put a stop to it.
So you're the one that blew the whistle.
I blew the whistle and was like, stop fucking giving him money. And instead, maybe they are going after him and I just don't know it, but I've never seen anything about that. So instead, they came after me.
Came after you. And that's because you are partners with him?
Well, I actually got him out. So that's one of these agreements in this stack is I had an agreement with him. I was like, all right, I brought him to Fort Dodge, confronted him, and was like, dude, you got to get the hell out of here. So he agreed in writing to refund or repay like $366,000.
Really? You have that?
I have it. Yeah.
Can I see that?
You absolutely
So this is really interesting.
Oh, it's a trip. It is a trip.
This is
like,
interesting.
What the hell are you people doing? So that is all the checks that the city wrote.
So this is a city wrote without knowing.
With no verification, no nothing.
So this whole entire time without them looking at what's going on, the monthly statements that they're still writing these checks.
They're still writing checks.
David Lane.
Yeah. Well,
That LLC.
to the LLC, exactly.
Mad M.
M&M LLC. And so he would actually come up to town,
Oh, my bad.
pick up checks, and go do whatever he was doing. And it wasn't until probably late 2025, I was like, what? I hadn't seen any financials either. I wasn't even on the bank account. So I was like, what the hell's going on? And it's like, we weren't really programming any tournaments. The website really wasn't getting done. Never once was there ever a sign on the building. That just drove me crazy. I was like, why is there no sign on this building?
Right.
Nobody even knows what it is. So I started asking questions like, what the hell's going on? So I actually uncovered what was really going on, took it to the city and was like, you guys, what the hell are you doing? I bought him out. I didn't buy him out. I had him agree to get out because of what he was doing.
And then he agreed to give you $300 and some thousand back to the city or to you or to who?
So $100,000 would go back to the property. $200,000. So and this is really funny. So he turned in a bill for the architect. The architect who was actually one of his partners that designed the property.
Sure.
He turned in a bill for $200,000. Okay, here's the architect bill. The city's like, oh, okay. The city didn't send $200,000 to the architect. They gave it to him.
Oh boy.
He turned around like the next day, and his buy-in was $200,000. Ours was $300,000. He turned around the next day, took the $200,000 they gave him, and put it into the escrow account and said, "Okay, there's my buy-in."
What?
Yeah.
So you didn't pay the architect?
He didn't pay the architect, and nobody at the city said anything or checked into it. And I was like, isn't that kind of coincidence that the buy-in was $200,000 and the architect fee was exactly $200,000? It wasn't $200,003, $203,582. It was $200,000 even, exactly the amount of the buy-in.
That's mind blowing. It's
mind blowing, dude. I can't even tell you. So I've taken all this to the city, and they've known all this for months, and it wasn't until May all of a sudden there's the agreement with
him being bought out.
Yeah. And this is actually this is public record. Anybody can pull this, but that's the actual contract between M&M and the city.
So M&M is your company?
It is now because of that buyout. Yes.
Okay. So the real one was FD Recreation LLC?
No, that's who I'm having replace Prairie Trail LLC. That's how he took. So in the ownership of the pavilion, it's M&M LLC owns it. Every LLC has members, or if it was a corporation, it'd be shareholders, but an LLC has members. So Prairie Trail LLC had 40% of it, his $200,000. That really wasn't his $200,000, but we didn't know that at the time. Oh. And then our group had 60%, which is also an LLC.
Which is $300,000?
$300,000. Because the down payment was $500,000. And we had to put that in escrow so it was preserved for the city. And they were to use that to make the payments in the event the property didn't make enough money to make the payments. And that's the bank statements I show you. That is how the bank payments
been made,
or the contract payments have been made, is from that escrow account.
So is this ever going to run out, I guess?
Yeah, so we have enough money left for December's payment, because it's every 6 months. It's next June, it gets ugly, because there's a really big payment. It's like $500 or $600. And so we've already been talking for the last few months. It's like, okay, well, we got a year's runway. We got to get this thing going and start making money. So next June, we can handle that. It's like $500,000 or $600,000. Our share's like $4 or something. So we'd have to pay that next June. That was actually where the problem was. And I was already working with the city on, okay, what does that look like? Can we restructure things to make sure that we can make that payment? So that's where our focus was.
Right.
We're doing all this back and forth. I had we interviewed sports management companies from all over the country. Had some guys fly up from Dallas. We actually met at City Hall with all of them, not necessarily the council, but all the staff and managers and all that. And it was like, well, let's program not just the Courtplex property, but Harlan Rogers. It's empty most of the time. We should be doing. That place is a gold mine. We should be doing tournaments, AAU, high school clinics, college things. There's a lot of sports programming that could happen there. We have some of the best trail systems. Mountain bike trails. Bike trails, we've got the OHV park. All of that is stuff that could be programmed for regional sports tourism.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, let's do all of this stuff. And this management company's like, hell yeah, golf. They actually own golf courses all over the country. So they're like, let's talk to Lakeside. That's a city project. Let's talk to the country club. Let's start doing some golf tournaments here. All reasons for people to come to Fort Dodge. So the next follow-up was going to be, they were going to be at a show in Vegas, and a couple guys from the city were going to be there. So they were going to kind of get together then. Like a week later, I get a phone call. Hey, we're taking that property back. It's like, what do you mean you're taking it back? It's like, we're trying to not just program that, but the whole town.
Yeah.
So all along I've been like, what the hell changed? Well, now we know.
What's that? What has changed, I guess?
What has changed is the city wants to build a law enforcement center and jail downtown. So they've identified the rec property, the Coliseum, as the location. And so if they buy that, they've got to move the Coliseum or move the rec somewhere else. So they're like, well, this thing's a pain in the ass. Let's get the pavilion back. We'll move the rec there, build our jail there, kind of make that loop. Problem solved.
Wow.
So it would solve that problem. The problem is that doesn't create sports tourism, which is why they built the damn thing in the first place.
And that's where I'm kind of confused about as well. I mean,
that's why I'm so frustrated, because it's like, I didn't want to be in the middle of this. I mean, I was a silent investor. I went to that freaking project because it was supposed to bring tourists, and I was like, well, we have 2 hotels. I want to fill my hotels. So I was like, I'll get in on the investment group of the ownership, because then I was like, well, by God, if I'm an investor, people are staying at my hotels.
Yeah,
that was
sure.
That's
all you wanted.
That's all I wanted. I don't know how to program basketball tournaments. I mean, I'm learning.
Well, at least you're trying. That's the thing. I mean, that's what it's designed for, to bring in basketball teams all over Iowa and generate, revenue for the city of Fort Dodge.
Exactly. And the retail places around there, and everybody's bitching about, well, there's no parking. Well, I didn't design the damn thing, the city did. So, I mean, that's not on me either.
Man,
it's on and
sounds like you're against the odds right now, man.
I'm against the odds, baby.
That's interesting. So why do you keep on going? Why do you keep fighting, I guess? Why would a lot of people would look at him like, dude, why doesn't he just give this entire pavilion away, get rid of the headache, get rid of all the publicity, get rid of everything? Why do you still do it?
Believe me, I've thought of that many, many times. But it's 2 reasons. One is, well, we have $300,000 in it that they're going to take from us when I didn't do anything wrong.
They wouldn't be able to do an agreement with you, like, hey, I understand. I know you have your heart's in a good place. Let's just give you $300,000 and buy you out. They wouldn't be willing to do that, or sit down and talk and kind of hash it out.
No, they have not been willing to talk whatsoever. Not once. Once this action started, it was literally like, boom, a different track. And that's this letter, which is, I'm telling you, it's a saga. I wrote 15 pages of, here's my experience from start to finish at that point, what had happened. And I said, let's just sit down. I was like, don't hire a lawyer. It's like, I mean, would I have done that deal? Probably. If they said, hey, we'd like to take it back, we'll give you your 300 back. I say that, but at the same time, so I'm in it partially, I'm keep fighting because it's bullshit. They're taking our 300,000, but it's also not fair to the community, because I was in so many meetings and Zoom calls, and it was like 2 things. The city does not want to own this property, and it should not be a community rec center. I heard that over and over again. I mean, I think they did a study of sports tourism in Fort Dodge, and they were like, oh yeah, that definitely can't be a community rec center. So we went for months of hearing that, to all of a sudden, oh no, we're going to take it back. The city's going to own it. It's going to be a rec center. What? That is not why you built the damn thing. I'm all for the rec. I'd love to see a new rec.
Yeah, for sure.
Not there. That's not what that project was designed for. And it's in a sales tax reinvestment district, which is how the money from the state came to help fund it. It's surrounded by all those retail. All the sales tax from that district for 5 years goes back into the district. Does that make sense? So everybody that comes to town and goes to Dunham's and buys stuff, the sales tax that they pay comes back to Fort Dodge.
Okay.
And so I don't know if a lot of people know that, but that district was recently expanded, so it goes downtown to the river, so down kind of Central Avenue. So it spreads all the way from where the Courtplex is now, basically down to the river. So you'll see in the next year or 2 some more projects happening downtown that'll get the benefit of that sales tax reinvestment.
Well, I think that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. But the problem is like the rec isn't, again, I love the rec, but they're not selling stuff where like the Courtplex Pavilion project would be selling stuff as people come and pay for tournaments and they're buying concessions and all that. Yeah. That all generates sales tax that then goes back into that district.
Yep.
So the community is getting punished, and so then if you look at the exhibit of payments, somebody has to make those because the city sold a bond. And these bond payments have to get made. I mean, So let's see, serial bond. So in June 1st, 2028, 350,000, 365,000, 380,000. These payments all have to be made, and if the rec can't float these, and the city owns it, well, who's going to pay it? The city, and who's that? It's the taxpayers.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here is this. So is the city going to own the rec, or is the rec going to be on its own?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what their plan at this point is. They haven't shared it, and they haven't announced it to the world yet, but they're about to.
Let me see this real quick. So this is you got to pay. Whoa, that's a lot of money for this bond.
Yeah, it's $9.5 million over however many years. So
you're the only thing standing in between us getting taxed extra to pay this bond.
100%.
That's interesting.
If I said today, if I called their lawyer and said, you know what, I give up, I'll sign the fucker over, it'd be on the taxpayers tomorrow.
Wow.
And that's the other thing that I have. I got the $300,000 to fight for, but I also have some of its principle, but it's not right for our community.
Right.
If I was convinced that it was, I'd give up today. Mm-hmm. And if you read my letter, I said, convince me that this is a great plan, because I was told forever that's not the plan, and now all of a sudden it is a good plan. So if it is, then I surrender. Let's do that.
Man.
But until then, I'm going to keep fighting. And I mean, Chewy, I'm going to lose probably. You know what I mean? You can't fight City Hall. So in the end, I'm probably going to lose. I hate to say that publicly, but I mean, odds are, I'm going to lose. Yeah. But I'm at least going to go down fighting and give it a shot. So
yeah, I appreciate you doing that, man.
And if I had more time, I doubt we have enough time. But that's why I just put out a post yesterday or 2 days ago. If I can pay off the city, if I had $8.5 million from another funding source, I could pay off the city, and then that whole conversation stops, and then we can do with the property with whatever we want.
Yeah.
And my goal was to get it into a nonprofit that would then go to the kids.
Sure. Does
that make sense?
Yeah.
So then any profits from that property, if it's even successful, we don't even know if it can be, but if it was, then any profit, instead of going into an investor's pocket or into the city's pocket, would go into youth sports programming, youth nutrition, a library of equipment, so parents or families don't have to go out and buy all the shit that you got to buy so your kids can be in soccer. Some kids can't even participate because it's expensive to do the buy-ins.
Yeah.
We got basketball programs that come through the Courtplex. Well, it's, $1,400 a year to participate. A lot of families can't afford that.
Right.
So then their kid gets left out. I don't know.
It sounds like you have a good heart.
It's probably
you have a good heart, and you're just trying to do what's best for it.
I'm just trying to do what's best, and I know not everybody believes that, and I could give two shits because it's like,
yeah, man, I hate this for you. But at least we kind of get some answers, because a lot of people have a lot of speculations, and I don't think it's fair for people to kind of speculate on what's going on, or not even know what's the entire truth until we have some receipts like we have now, and we kind of tell you like, hey, it sounds like you haven't missed a payment.
I have not missed a payment.
That's interesting. I don't know why there's that. So here's a question: them coming into your obviously the complex or whatever, the pavilion, did they shoot the shot too soon, or what happened?
Yeah,
there?
A little premature ejaculation there. They can you say that on air?
I don't know.
Caleb, you can edit that part. But yeah, they jumped the gun a little bit.
They jumped the gun there.
And that's, my lawyer was like, "What the hell are they doing?" They're like, it's like one hand doesn't know what the other's doing. But I think that some people at the city thought, "Oh, it's over. The month is over." So they came in with, it was basically an email copy of an affidavit that their lawyer was going to file with the court, and they're like, You guys got to leave. We're taking over. They had brought staff with them to take over. And I was like, guys, what are you doing? So they did that wrong, jumped the gun. Now, just this morning, I got served with a notice to quit. And that's what they actually were supposed to do.
Notice to quit.
And a notice to quit means you have to quit the property, basically. It's a legal term. But
okay.
So
today you got that notice to quit.
So I've just got that notice today. And that's what they should have filed.
Okay. So they jumped the gun.
They jumped the gun. Yep.
And was there younger kids working when they came in and just kind of bullied their way?
They kind of bullied their way. And actually, it was full of kids because we're doing free play on Mondays
That was kind of interesting. I was like, "Yo, that doesn't look good." What are you
guys doing? But it just proved my point. I was like, city governments are city governments. They do city stuff. They don't run businesses. I mean, how many times do you say, "Oh, things are bad. Let's get the government in to fix it"? I mean, the government's not going to fix it.
Sure.
They're going to do stupid shit. It's not going to go well.
Let me ask you this, Matt. If you could redo all this, what would be a couple things that you would do from the beginning and kind of redo so you're not stuck where you are right now? What would those be?
That is one of the best questions I've ever heard. That's a great, seriously, that is an awesome question. Well, what I would do, you know, in hindsight, I definitely probably should have. I didn't think I needed to. Is I should have been monitoring every single thing that the city and David Lane were doing. I didn't because I didn't think I had to. I was like, they had already been working together for 2 or 3 years to get this project going. I didn't know how the payments and stuff were, you know, what their system was, what their process was. I had no reason to think, wow, they're just going to write him a bunch of checks.
Yeah, you had faith in the city.
I had faith in the city, had faith in the system, I had faith in the process, and that was my mistake. What I should have done is been side by side. Okay, what checks are you writing, city, and why, and you know, where's the receipt for that? But I wasn't involved in any of that stuff. I was a silent investor. I did help a little bit, like I lined up a painter. I got a local CPA to do, you know, so I did some things with it, but I wasn't involved in the day-to-day stuff. That's not why I got in. Had I thought I had to do all that, I wouldn't have done it.
Here's a question for you. If you wouldn't have brought up that David Lane was robbing them, basically, would they ever found out?
Boy, that's a good question. Probably. I mean, eventually they would have had to.
But how long? How much longer is my question?
It'd have been a few more months for sure. And there's still, of the $2 million that was allocated, they gave him a little over $1.8 million. There's like 142 left. That would have been gone. Actually, he already had invoices turned in that I put a stop to, and it's like, do not write any more checks.
Wow.
So all that money would have been gone. But
and who's in charge of all that? Who's the ones writing these checks? I mean, I don't want to put that guy or that woman in on blast, but I think someone dropped the ball pretty big here.
I think somebody dropped, and honestly, I don't know for sure. I think I know, but I also don't want to use names. And also, I don't know what like the city's internal procedure is. You know, if there's a bookkeeper, you know, if it gets approved, you know, by mayor, by city council, by city manager, by assistant city. I don't know exactly what their process is for payables and that kind of stuff. But
it's just I think that's very almost like unforgiving, to be honest. You wrote a check for $1.8 million and nobody, with no accountability and not knowing where it's going, and then finding out by the silent partner that the money is basically getting stolen, and then they go after Matt, after you.
Yeah,
for blowing the whistle. That's wild, man.
Yeah, it's a unique position I found myself in.
And do you feel like it is your fault, or do you feel like some sort of responsibility for this? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a big boy. I got involved in the first place. You know, my wife will tell you, I told you not to get involved in this deal. But I really saw the opportunity, obviously, for our hotels. And it was kind of exciting, too. It's like, hey, this is a new thing for Fort Dodge, you know, the sports tourism and all that kind of stuff. I was like, I think it'll be fun. And actually, I was hoping that, you know, my daughter could help do some of the marketing and stuff. So it was an exciting part of the whole thing that we're trying to do with the Betterway project is grow Fort Dodge. And so I saw that as a great opportunity to get involved in.
And that's the Betterway project. Is that something that you started before this pavilion?
Let me think. No, actually, I think I had already gotten involved in the pavilion. I'm trying to think of the timeline. Yeah, I think I started. So I first found out about the pavilion project, or even getting involved, late 2024.
Okay.
And then I started the Betterway project in early 2025. So it was a few months later. And that was kind of part of it because I was excited. You know, I was like, this is great. You know, I've already got these hotels. Now we're getting involved in sports tourism. I saw kind of what was happening downtown, and I thought, boy, we could really do something. You know, if we started putting all these pieces together, and if everybody started working together, including the private sector and the public sector, the government, I thought, man, if we all just came together, we could really do something with this town, because this is kind of a fixer-upper. You know, we're a sleeper. Our cost of living is low. Our real estate prices are low. This would be a great place if we could, you know, if you buy a house in a nice neighborhood, you know, we've got great trails, great parks, you know, all the good amenities to live. If we could kind of turn the city around, turn the whole town around, this could be a place people would want to move to, which then brings jobs, it brings the economies, real estate prices go up, houses get fixed up, you know, just everybody wins as that happens. And that's kind of how all of that started.
Man, you had a great vision, I think. You got excited, and you did what you thought was best.
I did, yep.
And you had faith in the city. You had so it sounds like you've kind of got the short end of the stick here, man.
Yeah, no, I did. When I was on Channel 8 News a few weeks ago, they were kind of like, what happened? I was like, I got stuck holding the hot potato. And I was like, kids don't know what a hot potato is. That was a game back when I was young. You'd play at school or whatever. But it's like musical chairs. I was like, oh shit, all the chairs are gone. I'm left holding the bag. So.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, man. That's unfortunate. I mean, that's tough, man. Is there anything you want to tell the public right now that maybe hasn't been said or something you kind of want to clear up?
I want to tell the public. Well, if I lose, I'm sorry that I didn't win. If I lose, if I win, I'm definitely going to need help making this thing work. So I would ask the public to kind of come together and help embrace it. And that ultimately, even no matter what happens, at the end of the day, like I don't ever want to be the guy that's like bitter and I'm always going to be fighting with the city and all that kind of stuff. I mean, am I mad? Absolutely, because I'm getting screwed, and they're going to take my money when they really shouldn't be. I think, but I'm still about the community. I'm still about moving forward. I'm still about doing good things. So it'll be okay.
Well, if you lose, it's not your fault, man. Sounds like you did get stuck with the hot potato, and you putting up a good fight is definitely commendable. We see it all, and I'm sure your family is proud of you. Keep fighting and sticking with your morals and your convictions, because it doesn't sound too nice, I guess, of what's going on, and it kind of sounds like you're kind of, man, you're a good guy, good heart, I feel like, and I just feel like you're kind of getting the shaft here, unfortunately, because you can't control what you can't control.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd like to think that too. And I mean, am I a saint? Hell no.
No.
It's like, have I made mistakes? Of course. But I'm trying to do good. And my whole motivation, a lot of people are like, oh, he's just trying to line his pockets. Well, not really. I'm losing my ass off.
Yeah.
But I've got grandkids, and I think they're going to grow up here.
Mm-hmm.
And the trajectory that we're on is not necessarily a positive one. It's like, let's see. So I was like, let's see what I can do. And I'm not just saying that about Fort Dodge. I'm just saying about society. Iowa, the country. Actually. I mean, just humankind is like, I don't like the trajectory that it's going on. And I was like, well, I can't change the world, but maybe I can do something within the little sphere that I'm in, which is here. Mm-hmm. And if my grandkids are going to grow up within that sphere, anything that I can do to make that better, that's my motivation. So, because truly, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a business guy. Do I care about money? Well, sure, because it enables me to travel and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't give two shit. If I lose everything and I'm in a cardboard box, well, I'll fight my way back out of it. I'll do something. Mm-hmm. It's like I'll find a way to be happy. So that isn't actually what the motivation is. If all I cared about was money, I would do things extremely differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, money comes and goes.
Money comes and goes. It's just a thing. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're a guy with good morals and loves your family. Sounds like you're doing it for your family. That's your why.
That's my why. Yeah,
so that's why
good.
You keep grinding and keep fighting. So I'm sure they're proud of you, and I'm pretty proud of you, man. You keep fighting. I know it's tough, especially seeing your face everywhere. I'm sure you're kind of sometimes you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, what embarrassed. I woke up a couple days ago like, is this really happening? Oh yeah, I guess it is. Huh? I get.
But I do want to commend you. Keep on doing what you think is right, and City, I'm curious to see what they have to say. With that, man, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, and keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully you beat the odds, man, because you were going against it. So thanks again for coming on.
You bet, Chewy. Thank you.
You bet,
Great
man.
time being here.
Appreciate you.
Yep,
Thank
thanks,
you.
man.
Bye-bye.